To me, the biggest challenge is the corporation has to change their mindset. They have to change their mindset from thinking about controlling the outside to working from the inside out. They have to really begin to listen to their employees and listen to their consumers, and those are really, really important inputs into what their future strategy should be about. So they have to be very people sensitive or people centric. That's one of the things. The second area is the corporations are usually, by definition, particularly like in Croatia and many other countries around the world, are very hierarchical, very control-oriented from the culture and the history. They have to transform themselves to become more collaborative, more interactive, where the communication channels would just go from top down. It needs to go from bottom up and top down and crossways. So it has to be totally interactive and collaborative. The third thing is that people and corporations need to understand how to leverage their assets. The millennial and the woman in corporation are huge assets, and traditionally in many countries those two entities, the young and the woman, are not ones that are integrated into the decision process. If we get a more collaborative, integrated, cross-functional process in terms of just not that many companies are organized in silos: sales, marketing, finance, HR, customer service. Their budgets compete with one another. Their executives compete with one another. They don't interact and form collaborative ideas. So all of this leads up to really what's the big thing. The big thing is innovation. We need to figure out a way in the corporate society to innovate on an ongoing basis, where continuous innovation and disruption is not something you fight against, but something you look forward to and encourage, and they're going to be the keys to competitive advantage. The startup is dealing with a blank blackboard, tabula rasa, and they need to fill in with the people that they have, who many of them are millennials, many of them don't have a legacy of, you might say, control issues, legacy technology issues. They begin to look at different business models. They don't have to change the business model, they create a new model. So they jump from an idea to implementation. They're sort of like the 3D printer. The 3D printer, you can create something. They create something, and they create a new business model around it, and they deal with efficacy, which is not efficiency or effectiveness, but it's somewhere in between. And it's something where you experiment on an ongoing basis until you find the right modality. So this is where we see a lot of companies have competitive advantage as a startup. But the corporation has to become entrepreneurial. They have to transform. Instead of figuring that they need to transform in 2 to 4 years, they need to look at a very rapid transformation process run by this digital transformation accelerator in the center of the company, which needs to be multicultural, multi-generational, cross-functional, and so forth, and really focusing on change of the customer experience. Croatia is a small emerging country, and Algebra, where we were invited to this program here, is a small emerging private institution, and we can't evaluate the power of small and large. We have to evaluate the power of appropriateness. They're at the right time in the right place with the right capabilities. They could penetrate a market very quickly through the media, which also completely levels the playing field. I mean, how can a company like Airbnb in 7 years grow from 20,000 rooms to 2 million rooms, which is almost double that of Marriott, has $25.5 billion valuation, and on and on and on. So if we look at that as a model, you know, anything is possible. And so many startups happen and are very successful on small amounts of money and very quick penetration, because they're not dealing with one-to-one selling of their product or service. They're using networks. This is about the networked economy. And that's a different mindset. How do you leverage the networks is really critical. Understanding those networks are very akin to the millennial generation. And that's why they need to integrate. They need to take their expertise and blend it with the wisdom and expertise of the baby boomer, and then you have a phenomenal bridge to competitive advantage. And I see that Algebra College is one that is very innovative in terms of their new degrees in digital marketing, and their EMBA are really it seems like crazy for me to say this, almost leaders in his way of some innovation in terms of disruptive education in this digital arena.